Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to turn it over to the host, Ms. Aria Mays.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. This is Area Maids with Kaizen Realty. I'm a broker there at the office. I thank you all for joining us today. We're going to talk about real estate. As you all have tuned in before and heard a lot of our conversations, we do leave the floor open for questions. Knowing the importance of real estate and how it benefits anyone that purchased real estate can be one of your biggest purchases that you may make. It can be transferred and used as generational wealth. There's so much that you can take advantage of when you're a homeowner, the equity in your home and the things like that that you can take advantage of. And especially the generational wealth that can be handed down to your children. So we want everyone to be homeowners who desire to be a homeowner. So with that being said, we try to give you as much information that you need so that you can get prepared to purchase a home. And a lot of people will say, is this a good time to purchase a home? And we actually have to say yes, although, and I'll mention this before in the past, and I'll say it probably at the next meeting, that the interest rates are not what they were in the past. They are the interest rates that we had a long, long time ago. So we don't want that to interfere with anyone purchasing a home. You just want to get prepared when it's time to purchase a home. You want to be sure to have your credit in line, the income. So your initial step, what you do is that when you get ready to purchase a home, is that you want to get your loan pre-approval. That's very important. You want to talk with the loan officer. And today online, we're going to have Rachel at Trustmark Bank, who's going to go over with you all the steps and let you all know the programs that they provide and what they have available. So your initial step in getting prepared to purchase a house is to get your loan pre-approval so that you'll know how much of a house you can purchase and what your monthly mortgage is going to be. So getting into your comfort zone with your finances, providing her with all the docs that you need is very important. Your W-2s, your history, your rental history, your bank statements. So all those things. And when I say rental history, if you was renting prior to that, if not, there's ways to work it around you getting pre-approved. So it's a few steps that you'll take after you've gotten your pre-approval. Then you want to contact a realtor. I would love for you to contact me, but however, if you decide to choose another realtor, that's absolutely fine. You want to get the person that's going to work in your best interest and to help you to get into your dream home. So finding a realtor is very important. After you find a realtor, they'll go through the process of you searching for your home. So searching for your homes, you may look at some houses. I've had people to look at one house. I've had people to look at probably 20 or 30 houses, but you don't stop until you're completely satisfied, because that's an investment that you're going to be paying for at least about 30 years, unless you decided to pay it off early. And that option is always available. If you want to pay off a mortgage early than 30 years, always take advantage of that. That's a really good option that everyone have. Some people think that they have to wait 30 years. You don't. You can make one extra payment a month and you can reduce your years on your mortgage significantly. So that's something to always think about, and it helps to benefit you that you don't pay a whole lot of money in interest on the house, and it helps you to have more equity in your home. So that's something to really think about. After you found your new home, then you'll write a contract. The contract will be sent to the attorney office and to the lender. And within that time, it usually take about 30 days, but the lender is doing their process, the attorney is doing their process, finding out to be sure that there's a clear title, being sure that everything is okay. The lender is working on your finances. So it takes sometime about 30 days, sometime a little bit longer, sometime a little bit less. So within that time frame. And then that's when you're clear to close. That clear to close doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to the closing table that day, but it means that you're prepared to getting ready to close, and you've met all the requirements. And then your realtor will set up an appointment with the closing attorney so that you can go to the closing table. And then, of course, that's when you sit there and you sign all the documents. That may take 30 or 45 minutes to get all the documents closed and signed. And then after that, there's one more step before you get your keys. So the two attorneys, if there's two attorneys involved, they have to swap. Once they swap, that means that the other party get the money, then you get the keys. So that's officially when you have gotten your houses. Once the swap is completed, then it's completely closed. So that's the steps that you take on purchasing a home. If you have any questions about this, feel free to contact me. If someone that wants to sell a house, if you're looking at selling a house, then what you would do is that you'll contact a realtor and ask for a CMA. That's a comparable market analysis. That's the comps in the area to tell you about what your house value is. That's not the official value, because a appraisal would give you an official value of the home. What we give you is comparable market analysis. Once you get that, that gives you a general idea of what your house value is. Then you want to get the realtor to list the house. There's so many steps that's involved with selling a house. A lot of people say, I can just sell my house on my own, but it'd be so much easier and less stress for you if you let somebody else handle that. So working in the commission for a realtor is what is important. It keeps the stress off of you, and it helps to make it a much, much more easier process. Another thing that I wanted to mention to you all today, in my previous webinar, I had mentioned to you all that USDA has funds available for home improvements. And I did talk with the USDA lady today, and she did specify to me that the funds that they have available, and this is not for everyone, but this is information that you can pass on, because you may know someone that may need some home improvement. So just say hypothetically, if you're elderly, if there's an elderly person that may need a new roof, or they may need some new windows, or they may need some new flooring, some improvement to their house, there is a $10,000 grant money available for elderly people that's over 62 years old to get money for home improvement. Of course, there's an application process, and you have to meet the application process. But if you know that grant money is money that you don't have to pay back. So I may not be talking to the audience that could use that money or possibly would qualify for that money right now, but you may know someone. You may have a cousin, you may have a relative, you may have a grandma, you may have an aunt or uncle who they need some floorings, or they need some windows, or they need a roof, or they need some home improvement. That's some good information to pass on to them, so that we can all be helping each other, and they can take advantage of the benefits that's available for them. Also today, like I mentioned, we have Rachel Eben online, and she's going to tell you the programs that Trustmark has available for new home buyers. She'll tell you the programs with the qualifications, the benefits of the programs that's available from Trustmark Bank. So Rachel, are you there?
Yes, hey.
Hello. Okay, Rachel, you can explain to them what you all provide.
Okay, thank you, Aria.
Okay, sure.
All right, I am Rachel Eben. I'm with Trustmark Mortgage. My office is in South Haven, Mississippi. However, I can lend all over the area, do a lot of business in Tennessee. One of the very first and exciting steps getting ready to buy a home is to get pre-approved. Each person is so individual as far as what they can qualify for, what assistance is out there. So it's very important to start that process first. Work with a loan officer that will talk to you about all the different program options, talk to you about any money that you might need, because it may take time for you to save. There's some things you have to take into consideration. One of the first things you'll need when you find a home is earnest money. That earnest money can be anywhere from $500 to thousands of dollars, depending. So that's something that you need to talk to your realtor about, but also have that saved. The next thing would be an appraisal fee. That appraisal fee could be anywhere from $500 to $600, depending on your loan program, and you'll need to have that saved to be able to pay for the appraisal. The appraisal is what tells the lender and you what the value of your home is at the current market, and if there's any repairs that might be required to meet your mortgage conditions. A home inspection would be something else. You would need to talk to your realtor about that. I know they can vary as well, depending on the size of the home and what all they have to look at. But I think that usually runs anywhere from $300 to $500. Am I right about that, Area? Okay. So you need to have some money saved initially. Now, there are down payment assistance programs that are available to first-time home buyers. It varies based on state. So you would need to talk to your lender if you qualify. So for example, in Tennessee, they have a $6,000 grant that well, it's not a grant, $6,000 of assistance that you can get. When you sell your home or refinance your home, you would pay that $6,000 back. That can go towards down payment if needed, or a combination of down payment and closing cost. They also have a $15,000 assistance that you can take out as a loan. That is paid back over 30 years at the same interest rate as your first mortgage. The interest rate is set by the assistance. And so you can get up to 15,000 as well. In Mississippi, they have two programs. One is $8,000. So again, you don't pay that back monthly, but you pay it back if you sell or refinance your home, or $10,000 that you pay back monthly. And that is a 10-year loan that you pay back at 2% interest rate right now. As far as qualifying for these programs, it's very individual. So you as a person need to talk to your lender, get a full understanding of it, see if you qualify, talk about money you might need, talk about what kind of payment you're comfortable with. Because just because, you know, I can qualify you for a certain payment doesn't mean that you want to pay that payment. So you need to really talk to your lender about what payment you're comfortable with, let them translate that into a purchase price, talk about the money you need, and get ready to purchase your home. If you're a veteran, VA offers 100% financing. So that's a fantastic loan to take advantage of if you qualify as a veteran. Area talked about USDA. USDA is 100% loan as well. It's in areas that are considered rural, but you might be surprised at what areas are actually designated as rural. They could be very suburban. So you would want to talk to your realtor about USDA loans if you can qualify for that. Trustmark has a 100% program. It's a conventional loan where it's a 97% first mortgage. What that means is that the loan itself requires a 3% down payment, but then Trustmark is offering a 3% second mortgage. What a second mortgage means is that you will have two loans you pay back. You've got your big first mortgage and then a small 3% mortgage, but combined will offer you 100% financing. In the Memphis area, Shelby County, DeSoto County, Fayette County, Trustmark is also offering an $8,000 grant if the home is located in a majority minority census tract. That is money that you never have to pay back. It is given to you. And then we also offer a $2,000 closing cost credit for any home that's located in a majority minority census tract, no matter what type of loan you get. So if you got a VA loan, for example, and your home happened to be located in a majority minority census tract, we would provide you a $2,000 closing cost credit. So there's a lot of incentives out there, not only for first-time home buyers, but for people that maybe are needing to sell and buy something else. If you're not taking advantage of the first-time homebuyer program through the state and the home is located in a majority minority census tract, we offer 0.75% off of our interest rate pricing. So that's basically a free interest rate buy down that you could take advantage of, plus a $2,000 closing cost credit. So there's so many things to help people. And the main thing is talk to a lender, see what you qualify for, see what you need to do. Real quick about just mortgages in general. I like to look at them as like a three-legged stool. So you've got three main legs: credit, income, assets. If you've got a shaky leg, you might be a little wobbly, but you might could still sit down. If you've got two shaky legs, odds are that's probably not going to hold up. So credit, if you're not sure, talk to a lender. Let them talk to you. I'm more than happy to help people work through credit issues and get them prepared. Assets. Let's try to save some money. Let's try to have, you know, the money for the earnest money, the appraisal fee, the inspection fee, and maybe a little bit left over, because you really don't want to go into purchasing a home, a big investment, and have nothing saved for expenses for moving, for your utilities, for things like that. Employment. You need to have a 2-year history of working. If you are a college graduate, we will accept college credits as part of your 2-year work history. So if you're in nursing school or whatever, and you can't work during that time, we will accept those credits as part of your 2-year history. If you're self-employed, you will need to have 2 years of taxes filed being self-employed to be able to use that. If you're paid hourly, you want to have stable hours. Otherwise, you'll need to be on your job a little bit longer. So again, each person is so individual that you really need to sit down and talk to a lender to figure out what your situation is and how we can help you. If you're not ready, I will help you get ready. There's so many things to help people now that it's a great time to purchase a home. Aria, was there anything else I can cover?
No, you covered a lot, and we really appreciate that. Was some very good information. Also want to mention to you all that I called Rachel, I believe it was last week, and I have a educator who's interested in purchasing a home, and I asked if she had any benefits for the educator, and she did. Can you tell them a little bit about that, Rachel?
Sure. So in Mississippi, there is an assistance program called HAT, Housing Assistance for Teachers. The teacher has to teach in a needs area, and they have to commit to working in that area for 3 years. If they agree to that, then the state will provide up to $6,000 that they can use towards down payment and closing costs on purchasing a home. They do not have to be a first-time home buyer. If you have 2 teachers that are buying a home together, you can get $12,000.
That's very good for teachers or educators. That's
Correct.
good. And a lot of people, they may not understand what the majority minority mean. And if
Okay.
you don't, can you explain that a little bit, or should we?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
Yes. So there is a census website that we go to. We type in the address and it gives us a breakdown of the percentages. Gives us an income snapshot, and it gives us the percentage of minority owners in that particular census tract. So anything over 50, you get special incentives.
Okay, and that's a very good program, and you would be surprised as to where the majority minority
Mhm.
areas are. That's
Mhm.
really amazing. And just to give you all an example, right in South Haven, a new subdivision, Pinewood,
Mhm.
where Skylake is just building. It's off of Getwell Road. That's a majority minority area.
Mhm.
So you would definitely be surprised at which areas are majority minorities. And
Yes.
those areas you can get the 100% loan. So
Yes.
that's some very good information. Rachel,
Yeah.
can you give them your contact information?
I would love to. Thank you, Aria.
Sure.
So my office number is 662-253-6021. And my cell phone number is 901-238-4663. And I would love for you to reach out to me. We can see what we can do to get you ready. Once we get you ready, we turn you back over to Aria. She's a fantastic realtor, and I know that she would work with us to find the perfect home for you. Again, she's right. Owning a home is a wealth builder, generational, and a great way to build that wealth for you and your family.
Good. Okay. And we did have a response, Rachel. They asked if you could put your contact information in the chat.
Sure, absolutely. Be happy to.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes. Okay, so we're going to open up now for questions. If anyone has any questions for Rachel or myself, then we'll answer them for you all.
If anyone on Zoom has a question, they can put it in the chat or they can raise their hands. But a question came in on social media. Is selling or buying a house? I'm trying to read it. Which one is harder, the buying or selling the house?
I think they're both about 50%. You know, it depends on the situation of and the condition of your house, and what if you price it right, it could sell really easily. Buying a house, of course, you got to go through the steps that Rachel has mentioned to get pre-approved, and then you could qualify for a house. So that it's about 50% as to which one is easier to buy or sell. it's a very personal qualification in reference to buying a house. Selling a house is very much is required. You just got to be the owner of the house and ready to sell and to have the equity in it in order to make the transaction work.
Do you have a checklist to get ready for home purchase?
Are you asking for me or for Rachel, for the lender or for the realtor?
Um, I guess we'll do both.
We'll do both. Okay. I'm sure that Rachel has a checklist and I can get a checklist together too. So yeah, the answer to that is yes. If they'll send us a message and we can definitely get that to them.
Yes.
All right. The grant for flooring, is it for Mississippi and Tennessee?
It's a USDA loan, so it depends on if your house is located in the USDA area, and that is in Mississippi, and it's USDA in Tennessee. So that could be USA in Mississippi and Tennessee, but it has to be a USDA area, I believe. Some parts of Tennessee is USDA, and some parts of DeSoto County is.
Is there a way to check that on the website to see if their part is on, if their area is a part of the USDA?
I tell you what, let me give you all a phone number. Matter of fact, I just got off the phone with the young lady. So I'm gonna give you a phone number to USDA and you can ask them about the grant money. The phone number is, Thomas, can you put it in the chat since I'm sort
Yes,
of
I got you.
okay, the phone number for USDA in Batesville, Mississippi is 662-578-8045, extension 4, and it's the 504 application package. 504 application package.
Okay, so that number is 662-578-8045, extension 4, and the application package is 504.
That's correct.
And that is the USDA in Batesville.
Yes.
And that's all the questions I see on social media and in the chat, Miss Area.
Okay. Well, we want to appreciate you. I'll let you all know that we appreciate you all for logging in today. Rachel, thank you so much for participating with us. Yes, absolutely. And if you have any questions, feel free to call Rachel or myself. My phone number is 901-335-9324. We'll be back here in about 30 days again with another meeting of Let's Talk About Real Estate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.